Hey,
Right on.
good to see you. This is a first. This is kind of cool. And since we talked last, this video chat Zoom thing kind of took off. Wish I would have invested in it, to be honest.
You're not the only one
Hey,
saying that, brother. That's for
we've
sure.
we've got kids doing school on this. We got albums being recorded by bands. I mean, it's just the wave of the future, man. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's to be honest, it's a bummer that kids are learning on this tool, but it's cool to do interviews and it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's this is kind of cool to be able to have you on to talk to you because kind of unbeknownst to you, this is actually the first ever episode of the On the Road to Rock with Clint Schweitzer podcast. Out is the Music Mania, in is the new deal here. We've rebranded. So you were our first guest ever on the new under the new guys. So this is pretty cool.
Wow. I'm divergent. I can't say that and
Oh,
deflowered you. Sorry.
wow. That's that. We've come a long
I,
way, Joey, you and I.
I'm
And
telling
it's
you, I'm telling you, I'm gonna get in trouble.
no, I'm all for it. We need the blabbermouth clickbait headlines. Trust me.
Right.
No, this is great because as the timing of this kind of sees sort of a transition in the music business as kind of a return to shows and touring. You guys are getting ready to fire back up. How long has it been since Warrant last took the stage?
Well, it was February of 2020. We were in North
Wow.
Carolina, I think, at a casino in Hickory, North Carolina, supporting Bret Michaels. So it's been that long. And yeah, here we are. Hopefully we can go out and do it safely. We'll see.
I think so. All signs are kind of looking good. There's, shows have kind of been happening. And I think that the early returns things are going well. You guys are going to be kind of kicking off June 5th at the Spyglass Winery with a bunch of other bands. It's like a big 2-day thing going on there. It's to benefit youth mental health at the Spyglass Ridge Winery. That's going to be awesome. You got Dawkin, you guys, Winger, Lita Ford, Firehouse, all your old buddies. This is going to be a great way to kind of get back in it. Are you guys rusty at all? How's this going to go?
Rust never sleeps, brother. Right?
That's right.
No, we're I don't know if we're rusty because we haven't played since February of 2020. So ask me next Thursday after rehearsals. We're fired up. We've got about 30 dates. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's shedding the COVID-19 pounds they gained in the last year and a half by sitting around at home and eating and drinking what they shouldn't be. And just doing the same thing probably a lot of people are doing, staying safe, playing it smart, and getting ready to go back out on the road. Going back through the old material has been a lot of fun. Writing the set lists. It's generally most of it, all of Cherry Pie, because Cherry Pie is still in that 30th anniversary cycle until September. So we're going to do that set, and it's just fun revisiting some of the old tunes we haven't played. So next week's first rehearsal, first gigs on Saturday.
Yeah, this is great to be able to revisit the 30th anniversary of Cherry Pie, which came out 30 years ago, I believe September 11th. I mean, they say if you do something really impactful, if you endear to an audience long enough that you get to celebrate these type of anniversaries. I remember when Kiss started doing a live 30, a live 35s, and it's like, wow. So now you guys have one here with Cherry Pie, which was a landmark album. Just kind of,
Yeah.
does it seem like it's been 30 years? Like, that's a loaded question. I mean, what
It seems like it's been 130 years.
See?
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. No, it just time goes by quick. The older you get, the quicker it goes, right? And from our perspective, it's kind of cool to revisit some, like I was saying, some of those tunes we haven't played in so long, or maybe never even played live back in the day when the record came out. Doing the live version of Train off the Japanese tour, which I can let people into, and it's killer. It's going to be great. Just fired up. So 30 years, I'll take it. Why not?
Yeah, this is awesome.
I was at all those Kiss shows too, by the way.
Oh yeah. Well, me too. And funny enough, I would say my last show before COVID was Aerosmith in Vegas, but about a month later, I was on my way to Tulsa for Kiss Into the Road tour in Tulsa down here. And I was on my way there. The show got canceled. The world sort of ended. It was like a Stephen King moment. I'm like driving and everybody go home, everything shut down. So I can't say Kiss was my last show because it didn't happen.
Yeah. I'm going to go check that tour out when it kicks back in.
I saw it a couple times, and it's tremendous. I give them so much credit to their production team and the way that they are able to keep keep that going. It's tremendous. And, to me, it's become a point. I get so tired of hearing people talk about original members of bands, and this isn't real because this person's not there. I get so tired of it, maybe because I'm 37 and I just, I wasn't alive for Kiss in their prime. Yeah, you can't tell by the hair, can you? But I didn't get to see a lot of these bands in their prime. So to me, it's all about the music, and it lives on. And I think that's what's important. Agreed?
I think that, if people are upset because their original members aren't in the band, you got to look at why. And it's like looking at a reason why somebody doesn't talk to another member of the family, or somebody dies, or somebody doesn't want to play anymore, or somebody, is a liability on the road. It happens, and I get it. And I'm more of a music guy where I just want to go to the music. If there's different dudes doing it, it is what it is. If it comes down to no dudes doing it, then it is what it is as well. But we've got 4 original guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky. We lost one of our brothers, which is horrific. We'd rather have him here. Obviously, there's bands that have half, like Kiss. I've heard Kiss sound their best with Eric and Tommy. No diss to Ace Frehley. I grew up on Kiss and Ace Frehley, and a lot of people, that might piss a lot of people off, but it is what it is. So I think it holds weight if you got an original band. I think it's absolutely fantastic because that's the Fist. But if you can't, you just do what you can as a business and in a band. And if you love to play music, you keep on going. You quit.
Sure. And you talk about the 4 original members of Warrant. Just kind of talk about the dynamics and kind of the magic that's created. I mean, between yourself and Eric, Steven, and Jerry. I mean, what is it about that group of individuals that's able to sort of keep this machine going all these years with little, disasters or problem? I mean, it's a band. It's up and down, ups and downs. But what is it?
There used to be disasters.
Well, yeah,
there just aren't anymore. The 4 guys that are still here, we're like brothers. We live together on the road. When we're off the road, we don't talk to each other. It's just, everybody has their own families and their own thing, but on the road and off the road, we've got each other's backs all the way. But about the sound of Warrant and where it comes from, I mean, it can come from, Steven's open-handed playing on drums. He doesn't cross his hands. He open plays. He's got a little more grease in it. It's different than traditional drumming. The way Eric and I play off one another, it just makes, it's like a Fist. Any band, you get 4 or 5 guys together, it sounds the way it is. You change one of the guys out, it's going to sound different. It just is. It's part of that glove. But it's good. For our band, we've still got the core 4 guys, so it sounds like Warrant. There's, we've had Robert Mason now out front for 11, 12, 13 years. I don't even know how many. It's been so long. And he does a fabulous job. He does all the legacy stuff. Justice. He has a lot of respect for Janie and his writing and the way he performs. So he's a sober guy out on the road. He kicks ass. And then we do new stuff, and we have a lot of fun. It's fun. It's still fun. So that's why we do it,
Well, your last album was Louder, Harder, Faster, and it might have been around that time that we talked to you, probably the first time. I think it's an album that, as the years have gone on, I mean, it's really critically heralded, fans as well. Just kind of talk to us about Louder, Harder, Faster and how important maybe that was, for Robert Mason, as somebody that's really solidified himself as a singer in this band. It's the first thing you've done since Rockaholic, which was 6 years before that. But as the years have gone on, what is your thoughts on Louder, Harder, Faster now that we're 4 years removed?
I think that's a really solid record. I think that tonally, it's probably one of the better ones we've done. Jeff with Dawkins Pilson. I'm sorry, Jeff. It's my age. Jeff Pilson that produced it. He did a great job. He's got great gear at his studio. He's got this 69 Gibson I want so bad. I should go up and steal it from him. But it's just so sonically, it's killer. The songwriting's there. I mean, the guys that wrote the tunes, they did a great job. So there's some really good tunes. There's some vintage Warrant stuff on there, like the song Perfect. And things like that kind of have that old vibe off of Cherry Pie. And then there's some newer rock and stuff that's got the band as it is now vibe, you know?
I thought, as I look back, I think "Devil Dancer" was my favorite song off that album. I think that was a Robert song all the way, and it's like a perfect melding of styles. I thought that was the star of the record. Do you hear that a lot? Is that one you enjoyed
I
as well?
like that. I like that. I like that song because the guitar tones are so crunchy and there's a little like, it sounds like knuckles are breaking on the guitar track. It's killer. So I look at it so differently, dude. I'm a guitar player. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like songwriting is not my mainstay, which is cool, but playing guitar for this band is, and I have fun. So I think that's a well-written song, and it was a lot of fun to play the guitar on that. It was a lot of fun to record this record. Each one has it's like a different chapter in your life because you work with different producers, you work with different engineers, you're in a different studio, you might be in a different city. It just is what it is. So each one's its own baby, you know?
So I know you grew up in Indiana, right? Fort Wayne area, right?
I didn't grow up there. I was born there.
You were born there. So at what point in your life did you move to LA? Like when you were pretty small then?
Eight.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you were old enough to drive over to Terre Haute and get your Kiss Army membership from the official home of the Kiss Army in Terre Haute.
Kiss wasn't around when I was born.
I know.
So,
I'm just pulling a connection out of my ass here because I know Terre Haute's the home of the Kiss Army, right?
Yes, yeah. I love my Indiana home. I love my Hoosiers. I love all my friends in Indiana, and that's where I was born and was raised in Irvine, California from, I don't know, third grade on, second grade on. And then moved up to Hollywood when I was, 20 or something, I think, and just went for it. And, I've been all over this country and all over a bunch of other countries, and there's some beautiful places and a lot of beautiful people out there. So I don't know if the place necessarily defines the person or if the person defines the place, so to speak. You know
I think it works both ways. I guess I don't know this about you, but are you a sports fan at all? I mean, you grew up in Indiana. Indiana basketball is huge. The Indianapolis Colts. I mean, you moved.
I'm old school. So I'm 57. So for instance, my favorite football team is the Miami Dolphins. And the reason why is because I actually went to Super Bowl 7 with my dad when I was 8.
Really?
Yeah, it was here at the Coliseum, and he got tickets, and I went, and
that
was the year they went. I saw that last game when they went 17-0. So, how can you not, as an 8-year-old kid, be a Miami Dolphins fan when you were at that game? And it hasn't been so great since then, but it's all right. We've had some great players, and Shula was there for a long time. Marino, Duper, Clayton, all those guys. So yeah, I can get into sports with you and go nut. Hoosiers, of course, but I'm also a Cincinnati Reds fan. Big red machine. Yeah, I'm not like LA Dodgers, LA Lakers. I don't have basketball. I'm obviously Hoosiers college fan, but outside of that, I'm not really into pro basketball. And I watch races and boat races and things like that.
Well, sweet. You're kind of a rarity because it seems like if you move to LA, that's what you kind of have to do. You have to adopt the team. My buddy Mark Kendall from Great White, he's always at Dodgers games, and he's when they win the World Series, and he's all Dodgers, and I have to give him crap for that. But I'm in Kansas City, Joey. So the Chiefs win the Super Bowl last February.
You got the Royals, dude. You got some great places there.
It's not a bad. Well, that's kind of what happened is the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year, which is like I've been waiting my whole life. It's like they won Super Bowl 4 before I was born, of course, and
Len Dawson, baby.
Yeah, come on. Otis Taylor and Buck Buchanan and the great team, but they finally do it. And then COVID, there's the parade here in Kansas City. There's 800,000 people, and then COVID hits, and it just like it was insane. It was like this is what I've waited my whole life for, and then the world sort of ends. I always said if the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, the world would probably end the next week, and it just about did. So
it kind of did for a year, but here we are,
Here we are. And to top it all off, I was at the Super Bowl in Tampa this year as the Chiefs lose to the Bucs. So I went to the wrong one, let's say.
Well,
that's my luck.
That's what happens when you play Superman, I don't know what else to say. That guy's an anomaly. I'm so happy. As a Miami fan, I'm so happy he's not a Patriots player anymore.
You guys beat him enough times, though. That was Miami's. Miami was his kind of bugaboo there for a lot of years. But
Spoiler a little bit, but
yeah, absolutely. I got to ask you about Robert Mason again. We got to talk about him because I have seen Warrant live with every singer you've had, with Janie Lane, with Jamie St. James, with Robert Mason, and I've always been such a Robert Mason fan. I think that not only his look, his style, his voice, I think he's vastly underrated. I mean, 12 years in, he's sang background with Ozzy, he's played with Lynch Mob, but why do you think that Warrant has sort of become his home where he has not really strayed out of for all this time? Because that was a big get for Warrant, in my opinion.
He just, and he got offered to be in different bands before us. And when we got Jamie in the band, when I got back in and we got Jamie in the band, I don't think he was on anybody's radar for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, you don't see him. Sometimes they go out of your mind a little bit for some reason, but when we were having the problems after Jamie left and Lane came back, and we were trying to do the reunion thing and we were having problems. We don't want to stop. We love the music. We want to play, And when it became evident that Janie had to be at home to try to get better, we looked around and it kind of just happened. I mean, I saw him one day at Rocklahoma and Pryor. And I was like, oh my God, it's just, I think some things are meant to be, so to speak. And he was into it and we were into it. When we first got together and jammed, it just sounded great. And here we are,
Is there something about being able, sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. Is there something about being able to play these shows with band? We talked about your shows coming up here on June 5th, with the Dawkins, the Wingers, the Firehouses. Whenever I've seen you guys, it's always out with these great packages with Bret Michaels. So many times I've seen you with Dawkins before, with Firehouse a lot of times, with Vixen. I think you got some shows coming up with them, and I love those girls. What is it cool to go out and play these shows with these guys? Are a lot of these guys friends at this point, and you feel this level of comfort to do these shows together? I mean, what's kind of the dynamic playing with some of these bands? I'm sure that a lot of them are just old friends and it just fits, right?
Yeah. I mean, all these guys and girls, Vixen girls, or women, excuse me. They're friends and they're all good. They all care about what they're doing. Everybody goes out there and gives it their all. Some guys are get rusty. They got to get it together. I've heard guys in different bands not sound great and then sound great. It just happens. You're not always on. Hopefully you are 99.9999% of the time, but things happen when you're out on the road and you're traveling. So all these bands sound great. It is what it is. It's a genre. Promoters want a package. They want something where you're going to get, 5, 6, 7, radio hits in a show from 2 or 3 from each band, or more from one band than the other, whatever. But that's what they want. So that's what we do. And we don't hold anybody back. We don't suck sound out of them. We don't do lights. We just say, set up and play and have a great time. It's not, we have a responsibility to the people that come and see us. And that is first on the list. There's nothing, it's not about me. It's not about anybody else in my band or anybody else in the other band. It's absolutely that 110%. We have a duty to put on a good show for people, and if we can't do that, then we shouldn't be doing it, so the people that come to our shows that want to see us get that. And I think these other bands that have gotten, that have come along and we're all like older and wiser, so to speak, I hope, share that opinion. I mean, it's just a responsibility, and that's what you got to do. It's a fun responsibility, but it is definitely. So if you look at it that way and you put yourself with other bands that do that, and have that thought process, then it works out and you get a great show.
Well, we are looking forward. Actually, here in Missouri, we've got you guys here in Hannibal, Missouri, coming up here, and I believe that is July 23rd. So for those local listeners here in the state of Missouri, we're in Kansas City, which is a far cry from here, but rest assured, Joey, I'm going to be there. It's at Heartland Field in Hannibal, Missouri, July 23rd. That's with Firehouse. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that. And can't wait to catch up with you, man. It's been a while. You guys were up in St. Joe, Missouri a couple years ago. That's the last time I think that I saw you. So we'll see you here in Hannibal coming up. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a great show,
Looking
man.
forward to it. It'll be absolutely a blast. We can't wait to see everybody out there. Well,
before we cut you loose, Joey, we've got to hit you with our final four drum roll, 4 quick questions, and you give us whatever comes to mind if you're ready.
All right.
Okay. What is the last concert that you attended as a fan? If you can remember back that far.
Yeah, you're going way back. Probably Kiss.
Okay. Well, that was, we almost
I was on the Kiss cruise, so I got to see Kiss.
That counts. We'll let that go. That's awesome. Always wanted to do one of those. Next question. What is the first album that you remember buying with your own money or that you stole?
There were 3. I bought 3 at once. So I bought the Who's Who Are You, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Bob Seger, I think it was Night Moves.
Night Moves.
Silver Bullet Band. I swear this is water. It really is. It is. I just been up since 4 a.m. And then the Cars, the first Cars record, believe it or not. So no metal in there, right?
No, that's great stuff, though.
But all killer songs. All killer songs.
Oh, I love the Cars. That's one of my 10 favorite bands of all time.
Yep.
What are a show or some shows maybe in the last year during pandemics that you've been able to catch up on, that you've watched, that kind of stood out to you?
Like TV?
Yeah, Netflix, streaming shows, anything. Did you watch anything
I'm not a TV guy.
Really?
I got a son who's 9 years old. He's been watching Phineas and Ferb on Disney stuff. And I think the guys in Bowling for Soup, I heard, do a lot of the music. So it's good. I watched that. And then I've watched as much music as possible. Like I just watched some Michael Schenker concerts from a year or 2 ago when he played with Herman Rarebell and Francis from the Scorpions. It was killer. Schenker's just killer. So I just watched that. I like watch concerts. I'm a weird dude. I don't watch Fargo or Fargo's killer.
That was one.
Watched it.
I was going to mention that one. No, I saw the Schenker Fest twice with what he did with Robin McCauley and Gary Barden and Graham Bonnet and all those singers. It was amazing. And Schenker's one of my true heroes. Last one, I think you kind of touched on this, but I just kind of go back over it just in case you have a different song. Since this is the 30th anniversary of Cherry Pie and this is the 30th anniversary of Cherry Pie Tour, is there a specific song from the album maybe that you guys don't play or haven't played that you're really looking forward to dusting off?
We're playing the whole record. So I've been playing along to the record for about 4 or 5 weeks. I've sung and danced, man. You're the only hell your mom ever raised.
Yeah.
Playing Rain, everything on that record. We're playing everything. Train, even Train. So it's all out there for your steaming ears.
Will my steaming ears hear Ode to Tipper Gore live?
Probably not. Well, there might be some. Depends on if the show's PG or not. How's that?
Oh, well, I think we know the answer to that. Dude, thank you so much. Best of luck on this tour, man. We'll see you down in Hannibal here in about 2 months, man. Can't wait to do it.
Clint. All right, buddy. Thank you for the time. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Peace.